and that's because they have the two X chromosomes, and basically there's genetic material which is clever enough to shut down some genes in the system that would cause possible health problems and that do cause health problems. So by definition, the two X's with this material is attached to those X chromosomes. It gives them a better immunity and fighting ability for disease and illness. Now, obviously, us chaps, we've got one X chromosome and one Y. So we get a bit of the benefit of that X chromosome, but not to the degree that women do. It gives them a safer health in their lives for that reason. So the X chromosomes do make a difference. And as you say, their health is significantly better than men. And as I say, when we look at these things, let me read you at this point. I've got some more negatives coming up, but it is interesting to see some differences between us. That's the thing, pros and cons, men, women. It almost seems to be, with the women's side of it, women versus men. And I guess both sides are, both male and females. We're looking at what advantages or disadvantages we may have as against our counterparts as women. But there's a paper I found, 6 interesting facts about women you may not know. And I won't read it all, but I'll just give you the headings. Number 1 of these 6, women typically have stronger immune systems. Well, we've said that, so we're all human beings, we're all Homo sapiens, but one half of the species has a much better immune system, which kind of seems a bit odd in a way, doesn't it? That nature, evolution, whatever, has caused that imbalance. You think it would be fairly well balanced, but they have stronger immune systems because of those double X chromosomes. Number 2, the female brain is more intricate and detailed. Now, we've got to be a bit careful here, Cuz, I think, when we talk about the female brain. But as we say, they, if I read bits of that, women tend to have greater language skills and better recall of verbal materials than men do. They also use both sides of their brain more, allowing them to be adepts at multitasking and so on. So their brain is more intricate. And these are all based on scientific neurological examinations of these situations over time. So these are not light-hearted things. Number 3, women have a higher pain threshold. We might think because of childbirth, but it's not really that. It's that they, as I think I said earlier, they remember pain in a different way to us. Probably if we do get that proverbial or literal kick where it hurts, we're not going to quickly forget that because it is an extremely painful thing. You see it many weekends on Sky Sports or football. A player goes down and the commentator will say, "Oh, he's got that where it hurts," and they lay on the floor almost writhing in pain for a couple of minutes till they kind of recover. It is a most debilitating thing to happen. But women, it seems, remember pain in a slightly different way, which is why, as I said, maybe they go on to have more children. Number 4, women's senses are more attuned. I mean, I'm almost giving up on the idea that it's such an advantage to be a woman over a man. I mean, for example, women, it says, can see more colours. Now, you
Oh,
may
right.
remember, yeah, I'll have to find out who wrote this stuff, but women can see more colours. Now, we talked, didn't we, at some length? We had a subject of colour and colours a few
Yeah.
weeks ago, and I dared to point out or to suggest that there is no such thing as colour. No such thing as colour. And I stand by that. There is no such thing as colour. And the reason, without going wholly into that, the colours of the rainbow are inside the sun, but they come to its surface in the form of heat and light as white. They then are sent down to Earth in the 8 minutes it takes to get here, sprinkled through the atmosphere, but they are still different lengths of wavelength, different light waves. And our brains, each of our brains, decides what color we will see those light waves as. It's quite remarkable to think they don't in themselves, anything you look at doesn't possess a color. It's what our brain is telling us is that color. So in one way, we don't really know if your red is the same as my red or whatever, because we don't know what our brain is teaching us in that respect. But apparently women can see more colors, which means their brains are looking at color light waves in a different way because of their color vocabulary. They were tested, this group of women, and it basically showed that they were more sensitive to differences in colours, like, for example, a mauve and a purple and a blue, whereas many men, it said, seemed to think the colours were the same. So again, it's quite interesting. Next bit on this same number 4, women have better hearing than men. I can see you looking increasingly depressed here, Cuz, because it's all a bit one way, isn't it? But they when it comes to identifying sound frequency and speech, women are able to pick up on subtle nuances that men may not recognise. Finally, women, in number 4, have a keener sense of smell. And the reason for that, they think, evolution-wise, is it helps them to identify a potential partner, the body odour of somebody.
Right.
And we do talk about that sometimes, don't we? That all of us have got a scent about us, all a bit different. Right, number 5 out of the 6, women can remember things better. Well, there's a surprise. They're better at everything else. They've better memories than us. More likely to identify with the emotional nuances and details of a story, making it easier for them to remember. They also have better verbal memories than men. And the last one, you'd be surprised, women have more endurance. They tend to have more physical endurance than men due to higher levels of slow twitch muscle fibers. They have a greater lung capacity than men, which helps them when doing activities that require a lot of oxygen intake. But I guess the serious point about all those is it is true. It is the biological, physiological differences between us and women. And you would say, if aliens came and looked at us all, they'd say, well, clearly the female is the superior part of the race. So I'm serious in saying that in those ways, in I don't know, in emotional ways.